Hey guys, this is Rusty again with Collector Auctions. I have got another CGC submission video for you. Now these are going to be 25 books I'm getting ready to send in. It is a 9.6 pre-screen modern submission. And all these books are books that I've been picking up over the last several months. Probably every one of these you've seen. If you watched all my other videos, you've seen these books. Books that I picked up from various little shows, through eBay, through local comic book shops, and especially from the Baltimore Comic Con. And I've been going after books from the mid-80s. I do my own cleaning and pressing, so I think I've done a really good job with a lot of these books. I think I had a pretty good eye to begin with, and I think my skill as a presser is pretty good at this stage. I've gone over these books really well, but I put a 9.6 pre-screen on this to protect myself, because these books have some value at a 9.6. They have a lot of value at a 9.8, but at a 9.4, it's like driving over a cliff. You might as well be selling the books raw at that stage, and I'd rather have them raw at that grade than not have them graded at that grade. So I protected myself on this particular order at a 9.6. We'll see how I did in a few months. Like as I said, we'll get them back, and hopefully I've done pretty good. But let's get into the books. Alright, first up is I've got 3 copies of X-Men on number 11. Now, there is no spec value on this book other than the fact that it is a cover. It's a cover. It's a Jim Lee cover. This is a classic Jim Lee cover right here. And that's the only spec on this book right here at all. I don't think the storyline means anything, but the cover is great. Can't ask for better Jim Lee artwork than this, and there's a lot of value at a 9.8. Again, 9.6, there is some still good value on this, and we'll go over in the end the value and everything added up at that level. But I've got 3 copies of that. Now here's a book that I didn't even realize that I really had in my collection. This is Psylocke number 1. David Finch artwork on the cover. It's just absolutely gorgeous. I always loved Psylocke ever since they reinvented her with Jim Lee and the X-Men and everything. And this is a stunning cover right here. I didn't think much about it. I picked up this issue. I don't think I picked up any of the other ones though. But at a 9.8, this has got some crazy value. Who knew? Well, somebody did, but it wasn't me. And at a 9.6, it's still got a lot of value, so I don't think it will hit a 9.8 on this. There is a defect over here. I remember I've had this sitting in the shop for months, and my first cleaning and pressing on this, I thought I could get a 9.8, and there was a tick over here I just don't think I can get out. But I think it may still meet that 9.6 threshold, so that's what I'm expecting on this particular book. Alright, this is one of there's a couple books in this order that I'd already sent in months ago before I was doing my own cleaning and pressing, and I was going through my collection. I was finding books that I thought would be ones that would be valuable at a 9.8, and I did a pre-screen 9.8. And this is Batman number 1, the New 52. I sent in for that pre-screen issues 1, 2, and 3. Now I got back 2 and 3 9.8s. They're beautiful. Actually, I've got those in my eBay store right now for sale. 9.8, or excuse me, the issue number 1 here did not meet that threshold. There was a tick over here. I don't remember it necessarily, but regardless, I went back, cleaned and pressed it. I think that I can pull a 9.6 on this. Still some value at a 9.6 on this. It's a little disappointing, but this is my second go around on this particular book. Alright, now this is a book, I think I picked this up in a Whatnot auction, but first appearance of Angela. This is the Spawn number 9. I've got this in my collection already, graded. It was my own personal copy I picked up in the day when it came out. I got a 9.6 on that. It's absolutely gorgeous. I love that. This book looks better. I would be shocked if it doesn't get a 9.8. It looked immaculate. I won't say it's bulletproof. I was watching some videos today where somebody was not very happy with their grades and they kept using the term bulletproof, but I don't think I'll ever use that exactly, because maybe I'm not as confident about my ability to pick out things sometimes, but this looks immaculate. I know what it is compared to the copy that I've got in there, and this definitely looks better. So hopefully 9.8 on that one right there. Oh, and here's another book that was in that pre-screen 9.8. This is Amazing Spider-Man 546, Brand New Day, starts here. Got some great value at a 9.8. I don't think it'll meet that. I worked it. I may get a gift grade, but I expect a 9.6 on this. Just a gorgeous copy. Again, value at that grade, either grade. Alright, here's a PC book that I bought back in the day along with a lot of the other Simpsons comics. This is Krusty Comics #1. And this is probably not one of the more desirable books out of that run. I know Simpsons Comics #1 is a great book. Treehouse of Horror #1. Even I think Bartman and Radioactive Man are probably more valuable than this. But again, I was pulling out some of these from my PC #1. There is value at a 9.8 on that. I think I've got a good shot at that one on this one. So I'm just going ahead, and this is part of my stage in life where I'm starting to liquidate some of these books, but I want to maximize value, and that's why I got interested in CGC and trying to max out the value on some of these books. And if I can get a 9.8 on this book is pretty valuable, fairly valuable. So we'll see. Alright, now there's a one that I don't know if I've already submitted this. I know I had my own copy, maybe I did, but this is Batman Adventures #1. And I think I got this from Baltimore Comic Con. I'd already, this book, this whole order is ready to go to CGC, and I took out all my notes, and I don't have them in front of me right now, but there's definitely a tick over here on the side. But again, I think this is going to meet a 9.6. Should meet a 9.6 all day long. Outside shot at a 9.8. Who knows? You never know when you get a gift grade or anything. Alright, I've got 2 copies of X-Men 24, and I think the only real significance of this, it's just a classic Andy Kubert cover with Rogue and Gambit. Absolutely gorgeous. I think one of them I picked up, I'm not sure, I've picked up one of them, I think one's a PC, and I think one from the original collection when they came out, and the other one, I know I picked it up on one of the local comic shows in the last few months. Top one right there does have a, yeah, it's got a little, definitely got a spine tick right there. You can see it. It breaks the color on the black for that's kind of wrapping around from the back cover. But again, 9.6 should be attainable in both of those. All right, so now we go move back in time a little bit, and we go to Fantastic Four #249, and this is, if you just watched my last video where I talked about in my unboxings, I was talking about these classic Thing covers that I just absolutely love. And here's the one I was talking about, one of them I was talking about. And this is of course, you got the Gladiator from the X-Men books defeating the Fantastic Four, and this was, I had just picked up a book from, it was Patrick Gleason doing the cover of Power Princess with Captain America strewn across her shoulder. It reminded me of this book right here, and this is, I didn't pick it up because of that, but there's a little bit of value. If I can pull a 9.8 on either one of these, I've got some great value. If 9.6, not quite as good, but I think I've done a really good job of picking 2 very nice copies here. So a lot of that John Byrne, I loved every bit of it, but a lot of them, you've got to get a 9.8 on all of them to have any significant profit on any of them. On a 9.6, you've got some profit, and that's what I'm doing here. I've got room for profit. I just don't have room for, I don't know if some of these will actually garner a 9.8 or not. I could be surprised. So here we got Fantastic Four 239. This is the first appearance of Ben Grimm's Aunt is it Petunia? I'm not sure. I can't remember that exactly, but it's also, you've got Nova. Well, it's not Nova yet, but it's Johnny Ray, or Frankie Ray, Johnny Storm's girlfriend, who is the daughter of Professor Horton, who was the inventor of the original Human Torch. And anyways, beautiful John Byrne artwork. Again, a 9.8, great value. 9.6, not quite so much, but it's still enough to be sent in. Alright, continuing with Fantastic Four, I've got 259. And these are two very clean copies of probably, out of that John Byrne run, my 2 or 3 favorite issues was in this particular 3-issue run of Fantastic Four. It was, I think it was 250, it was 258, 259, 260, I believe that's right. And just absolutely stunning. This was my favorite issue. It's not my favorite cover, but you've got the Thing, you've got the Human Torch, Doctor Doom, you got Terrax, and just absolutely, I love the story. Aunt May is even in this one. So, or I'm sorry, she's in the next one, never mind. But great story, I love all of this. Love that. These are some really fine copies. I think I picked these up from Baltimore Comic Con as well. My own personal copies of these, I think I ended up having too many spine ticks on a couple of those, so even though I had multiple copies, they all suffered the same fate. Alright, here is a book that I think I've already sent in my own personal copy, and I want to say I got a 9.0 on that. And this is X-Men 213, the classic cover, Alan Davis. You've got Wolverine and Sabretooth, their first major battle, and first time on the cover together. You got Psylocke in this. As I said, Alan Davis artwork, just absolutely stunning artwork. Love this a lot. My own personal copy, I got a 9.0, and that was because on the cover on the back, I think it's a black cover, whatever the ad is, there was definitely all kinds of color rub up and down the spine, and there's nothing I could do about that. And other than that, it was a very, very clean copy. It presents really well, but at a 9.0, there's not hardly any value at all. And these two look a lot cleaner, and it's one of those, if I ever pull a 9.8 on either one of these, or any of this one or the issue before, I could spell trouble, because I probably will want to keep those in my collection. Alright, here's a book that I definitely need to get a 9.8 to have any real value. 9.6 will kind of break even, but a 9.8 will be awesome. This is Avengers 268. It is the middle issue to the 3-issue storyline with the Council of Kangs. John Buscema, Tom Palmer artwork. They've drawn on this from in the Kang storyline that they're introducing in MCU. This is the middle issue. It is not the desirable issue. But I've already got 9.8s on 269. I've got a couple of those, and on 267 I've got 2 9.6s. I'll have to work on that eventually, but I got 2 9.6s on that. So I kind of wanted to go ahead and get this one done too, so I could have all 3 of them in that storyline. I think that would be nice to present all 3 of those together. And I don't think I spent a lot of money on this. This one I picked up. I've got my own personal copies of that, and I'm not sure if I've brought them into the press or not, but I know I picked that one up at a local comic book shop here a month or so ago, and it looked really clean, and it wasn't that expensive. So, all right, here are 2 copies of Marvel Comics Presents. First issue, it has got a Walt Simonson cover with Wolverine, and on the inside you've got the first John Buscema on Wolverine, before he goes on to have his own series or anything. Beautiful artwork, beautiful cover. Both of these, I want to say one of them's a PC and one of them's I picked up at a show. I don't think I had multiple copies of this, but real happy with the way both of these came out. Multiple pressings on this to get some of these spine ticks out. Introduced a little bit of moisture to the edge here, and then went back with the tack iron, and just outstanding results on both of those. Alright, here's 2 copies of something, well, 2 books from my PC. I picked them back up in the day, and from my previous videos, you ever go back and watch, you'll know I love reprints, facsimile reprints and reprints. And I've got, this is from the Marvel Milestone Edition. You got Amazing Fantasy 15, and Tales of Suspense number 39, the first appearance of Iron Man and Spider-Man. And both of these look really good. They pressed out really well. I've sent in other issues of this. I think I did the first appearance on Iron Man 55, the first appearance of Thanos. Got a 9.4, and and I know there was one other in that collection. I'm not sure what I got on it. Maybe it was SpiderMan 129. I'm not sure. I have to go back and look. But this silver really picks up any kind of defects badly. If you rub it the wrong way, it'll put a streak in that silver ink, metallic ink, that is unforgiving. You can't really get it out. But both of these pressed out really well. They look really good. I think there's a really good shot at 9/8 on both of them, but I suspect, just because, especially around the staples, it always seems to have a little trouble around the staples on these. It get some creases, or you get some rub. Can't really see it, but I'm sure under a microscope you can see it. But I'm hopeful that these will come out really good. All right, and then the last two issues I've got, now these are straight up from the PC. I've already submitted these books in previous orders that I picked up from the Baltimore Comic-Con, but one of my favorite story arcs in Spider-Man history was Kraven's Last Hunt, and these are the two issues from Amazing Spider-Man, 293 and 294. Mike Zeck artwork, two of the most classic covers in that whole entire run, and absolutely love it. I've gotten, actually, on the back wall back here, where is it? I take it back. I don't have it up, but I do have a print at someplace with from Mike Zeck that he signed of this. Anyway, this right here was one of my favorite runs, and I got these in my PC. This is another book. If I get 9/8, I may just have to hold them on to into my collection and just hold on to them. Hoping that I get good grades on the ones I sent out before. These look really good too, so I'm very, very hopeful that this will come in at a great grade. Love the storyline, love the artwork, and everything. Anyway, guys, that is it. This is 25 books in this submission, and let's go over a little bit about what I'm doing here. These orders that I have put together, right here, there's the submission form for this. All these that this video and the last couple videos, all these submissions I've had ready for well over a month, and I had these submissions submitted right before CGC raised their prices. I could have sent in every one of these books all at the same time. I've got different pre-screens on all of them. I've got a couple 9.6s, a couple 9.4s. I've got two, I think that was in this, that don't have any. I don't think I did a pre-screen at all, and I know I've got one 9.8 in there, and I don't know if I'm going to get to sending them all out, but they have to be there before, in their hands at CGC, before February 18th, and as long as I get them in there, they'll honor the price. I put these orders in, as I said, it was right before the price raised, so these orders are still good, they're still valid as long as I send them in before the 18th of February. And kind of go over the value on these. Now, you've heard me talk a lot today about value at a 9.6 and a lot of value at a 9.8, but let's talk about the 9.6. And one of the things I've changed up in the way I order things from CGC is when I send these in, I used to send in and I put the value of the book at what the value was if I needed to replace the book. If this book right here gets damaged and I want to replace it, how much is it going to cost me to replace that? And then I started reevaluating the way I value these. It's like, no, I'm valuing this at a 9.6. So what's it going to cost to replace this at a 9.6 if it gets damaged? So I pretty much now I send them in based on the value of what my pre-screen is. And I can add up this real quick to tell you that these 25 books, if they all hit at a 9.6, I mean, you're talking about a fair market value right now of just under $3,000. And that's outstanding. And you think about, there will be a few in there, yes, there will be a few I want to keep for my PC, but the rest I'm going to end up selling. And that goes into my whole philosophy of, at this stage in life, I'm starting to liquidate things. And I don't need to live forever with these things. I love them. I love every one of these. I've read every one of these multiple times. I mean, maybe not that particular copy, but I've read these stories. I've loved these stories. I've loved the artwork. The artists are fantastic. It's part of my history of growing up with these books. And I'm looking to downsize the collection, and this is the way I'm going to do this. But at a $3,000 value on this, that's fantastic. Now, of course, you take into your selling costs and how much it costs you to buy the books and everything else, and yeah, you're not going to make $3,000 on this. But in the end, and I don't have the number in front of me here, but it's pretty easy. I set up an Excel file with a formula that will calculate this for me. I can literally put these in, put in my values at 9.6, and I can tell you how much profit I'm going to make. And if I get around to do it on the video here, I may put it on the screen and I'll show you how much value after eBay fees, after postage fees, what else, how much the books cost. And that's another thing that I haven't talked about really, is keep track of how much you spend on these books. If you don't do that, then how do you know if you're making enough, if you're making money? If you're selling these for a living, you've got to know how much you're spending on it. So I keep track of all of that, and I put them into this formula, and I said, as I said, I probably should put on this video, when you watch this, I'll put a value and I'll show you how much that I actually could profit from this. And if any of them drop off, yes, I'm losing the value of the 9.6 that will come out of that equation, but then I can always sell the books raw, and then I will have a much better idea of that raw book, what the grade is. If I put it on eBay and this one doesn't meet a 9.6, well, I was already confident in it. I can very confidently say it's going to be it's a near mint book. It's a 9.4, at least a 9.4. So I can list things like that. So anyway, that's a little bit about the way I go about things on this, and I hope you enjoy this. I hope you get something out of it. Tell me, if you get a chance, watch the video and let me know, what do you think about the books I'm sending in. And as always, hit the thumbs up. I really appreciate that. It makes the analytics on the video spread out a little bit and more people can see the video. I ask you, if you haven't already subscribed to the channel, please do so. I enjoy talking with everybody that ends up contacting me, and I'm hoping you guys get a little bit of something out of this video. I'm enjoying this, and we'll just keep going. I'm going to keep growing this channel as much as I can. It's for fun. I'm having a time of my life going back and revisiting part of my childhood. I love these books. I love what I'm doing here. So that's it, guys. You have a great day, and I will see you for the next video.